Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 141st Commencement Exercises of the United States Coast Guard Academy. I am Captain Rick Wester, the Assistant Superintendent of the Academy. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and the rendering of honors. Please rise. The rendering of honors includes a 19-gun salute. Please expect loud cannon fire. Military personnel, 10 hut. Now, Coast Guard Academy, arriving. Now, Coast Guard, arriving. Now, Homeland Security, arriving. Military personnel, hand salute. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States of America arriving. Ready, 2. Please remain standing for our national anthem. Military Ready, 2. Please remain standing. At this time, I invite Professor David Mazurek to the front of the stage. As mace bearer, Professor Mazurek is the member of the faculty with the longest service at the Coast Guard Academy.
The 141st Commencement exercises of the United States Coast Guard Academy are now convened.
Commander Jamie Stahl-Ryan, Command Chaplain, United States Coast Guard Academy, will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. I begin with some words from Dag Hammarskjöld, former Secretary General of the United Nations. He says, "Life only demands from you the strength you possess. Only one feat is possible, to not run away." Eternal Father, we have before us over 200 young men and women who have chosen to not run away. In these last 4 years, they have dug deep into themselves to discover their strengths, and now they are eager to put their God-given gifts to the service of others. Lord, give them this moment. May they know by all the people present and the words that will be spoken to them, their success is greatly appreciated and greatly celebrated. We also lift before you the many coaches, instructors, mentors, family members, friends who have journeyed with these young people to this point. May they know beyond a shadow of a doubt they are hugely responsible for the success of these graduates. Father, it is times like these that life finds its meaning, and it's the cornerstone of how you have asked us to live. So be with us as we celebrate each of these graduates. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Platform party and presenters of commissions, please join the class of 2022 and uncover. All other military personnel, please remain covered throughout the ceremony. I now have the pleasure of introducing the 42nd Superintendent of the United States Coast Guard Academy, Rear Admiral Bill Kelly.
What do you think, Rick? Should we let the cadets sit down? Cadets, seats. Moms and dads, I'm certain if we made them stand through the whole thing, they would do it. Vice President Harris, Secretary Mayorkas, Admiral Schultz, Governor Lamont, public and community leaders who have joined us today, distinguished alumni, military veterans, faculty, staff, coaches, family and friends, and of course, the Corps of Cadets. Good morning and welcome to the home of the Officer Corps of the United States Coast Guard. And to the great class of 2022, good morning and congratulations, you did it. You have navigated the 200-week journey. You have led the Corps of Cadets through a global pandemic, and you have sprinted through the tape, arriving here today at the crossroads, where you will receive your diplomas, you will take the oath, and you will accept your commissions. Then, you'll forge a courageous new path as officers in the world's best Coast Guard. This is certainly a memorable day for the Academy, the Coast Guard, and our nation. Madam Vice President, thank you so much for the privilege of having you with us today to oversee today's ceremony. It is an honor and a privilege to have you on board the Coast Guard Academy, ma'am. The women and men assembled before you are ready. Ma'am, there's a lot of excitement to have you here today. And as we talked about, there's a lot of Californians out there as well. And a lot of Americans, too. Ma'am, the women and men assembled before you are ready in all respects to serve as leaders of character in our Coast Guard. They are prepared to uphold their oath and to protect and defend our great nation, and I can attest with great certainty that they are ready to serve wherever and whenever our nation needs them. Thank you again for being with us today. To our parents, our families, and our friends that have gathered, we are so thankful for all that you have done for the class of 2022. And we are very thankful that you are here in person and online to celebrate today's accomplishments. Thank you for everything you did to support these young women and men. Cadets, would you please join me in a round of applause for your family? Moms and dads, I hope you take great pride in what they have accomplished, and I am confident that you will look fondly on the success that are sure to come in the future. To the great class of 2022, your class motto is Fortuna Fortis Adiuvat. Translated, fortune favors the brave. Today you begin to truly live this motto because you were brave enough to overcome obstacles and navigate through challenging times to achieve your goal of earning your diploma and a commission as an officer in the United States Coast Guard. Fortune will most certainly favor the brave, and we know that the most successful officers are the bravest, but they are also the most compassionate and empathetic leaders. They care as much about completing the mission successfully as they do about caring for their people. We have invested much in your development. Your fortune lays ahead of you. My hope for each and every one of you is that your fortune is measured by the impact that you make on another person's life. The truly bravest among us are willing to do what is right, regardless of the personal sacrifice it will entail. Class of 2022, if you are brave enough to do right by your people, if you care for them, if you prepare them, and if you set high expectations for them, and if you challenge them to be great, then fortune will most certainly favor the brave, and your unit, our Coast Guard, and the nation we love will be stronger for it. To the brave young women and men of the great class of 2022, it has been the honor and privilege of my life to serve as your superintendent for the past 3 years. And I wish you fair winds and great fortune. Finally, congratulations to our remarkable faculty, our coaches, and our staff who prepared the class of 2022. Thank you for your commitment to our mission to develop leaders of character. The success of your efforts is on display here today. We truly have much to celebrate, and on behalf of the Academy community, I thank everyone who has had a part in today's graduation. And as we like to say around here, Semper Paratus and forever, go Bears! Of the 252 young women and men graduating today with the class of 2022, 9 are international cadets who have proudly represented their nations while greatly enriching our Academy and the Corps. At this time, we invite these international cadets, along with the members of their national delegation, to stand when their names are called. These graduates will return to their country soon and serve with distinction in their armed forces. Audience, would you please hold your applause until all of the names have been read. From Jordan, Hanas Al-Farash. From Madagascar, Santa Anjianaif Rahalam. From Mexico, Manuel Gutierrez Rodriguez. From Rwanda, Vivian Ishemwe. From Palau, Saxon Isam. From Ukraine, Anton Kononuchenko. We stand with you, Anton. From Iceland, Eyþór Óskarsson. From Panama, Jesus Andres Rodriguez Rios. And from Cambodia, Chembo Pik Dan. Cease, ladies and gentlemen. I now have the privilege of introducing this year's distinguished graduate. The distinguished graduate is the cadet who graduates with the highest military precedence average, which includes the academic, military, and physical components of the entire 200-week program. It is with great pride that I introduce this year's distinguished graduate, First Class Logan Tobias. First Class Logan Tobias is from Long Island, New York. His parents are Ira Tobias and Colleen Tobias, and he was raised with his older brother, Blake. He is a government major with a concentration in security studies. During his senior year, First Class Tobias was captain of the men's lacrosse team. He also served on the Cadet Honor Board during the fall and spring semesters, assisting in the promotion and maintenance of high standards of conduct within the Corps of Cadets. Upon graduation, First Class Tobias will depart to Honolulu, Hawaii, and report as a deck watch officer on board the Coast Guard cutter Midget. It is my pleasure to introduce the distinguished graduate of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, class of 2022, Cadet First Class Logan Tobias. I didn't mention he was on that book.
Good morning. Madam Vice President, Secretary Mayorkas, Admiral Schultz, Admiral Kelly, Provost Donahue, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and the great class of 2022. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this incredible achievement. I am humbled and honored to speak before you today. Fortune favors the brave. 2022's motto was chosen by our class during our fourth class year. And at that time, its meaning to us and to most people who hear it today was simple. Take chances. Embrace risk. Put yourself out there and enjoy success as a reward for your courage. Now, for the Romans who invented this phrase, this was not merely an inspirational saying, but a universal truth. Julius Caesar, whom we know is controversial, upon crossing the Rubicon River to begin his march into Rome, famously uttered, "The die is cast," highlighting the risk associated with his decision in the hopes that the goddess of luck, Fortuna, would deliver him to victory. And judging by his military success, it appears fortune did favor the brave that day. However, the academy and the real world are a bit more nuanced than that mythical tale. Fortune does not always favor risk takers, right? I mean, if it did, during second class year, more of us would have parked our unauthorized cars on the hill behind the gas station. No. From our lived cadet experience, we know all too well that sometimes you put yourself out there and fall short of your goal. You fail an exam. You don't get a command position. You get injured on the athletic field. Or you get a Class 2 conduct offense, also for parking, the morning of dining in. However, our class has demonstrated that if we are perpetually brave in the wake of failure, doggedly persistent in embracing risk, determined never to give up, we continually close the gap between ourselves and success. From our unique academy experience, we had to learn and then believe that fortune may not always favor the one-time brave, but certainly those brave enough and gritty enough to try again and again. For instance, First Class Abby McGuire, captain of the women's soccer team, tore her ACL her fourth class year. After healing, she was brave enough to take the field again this past fall, but unfortunately tore her other ACL, jeopardizing her commission. Determinedly, she rehabilitated her knee for the second time and was just cleared for graduation. Yeah. Bravo Zulu, Abby. Your resilience, as does ours, pays off today. Also, first class Matt Flynn was rejected upon first applying to the academy in 2016. He did not fear failure, as he was courageous enough to apply again. He put himself through prep school, reapplied, was waitlisted, and then earned a spot, but at another prep school. Finally, he made it to the academy in 2018. Matt, you persisted through setbacks, and fortune is finally smiling on you as an example to us all in the class of 2022. Just this past week, I sent out an informal survey that revealed our class identifies grit as our quintessential formative trait. Defined by psychologist Angela Duckworth, grit is demonstrated passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Essentially, that means being brave enough to withstand obstacles and failure in pursuit of your dream, your fortune. I mean, by that definition, come on. We present the ideal grit case study. Each of us persevered through 3 a.m. nights in McAllister Hall or the library working on capstone projects, room and uniform inspections, drill, 0700 morning trainings, drill, midweek away games, and did I mention drill? However, while it is within ourselves to rise or fall, we have experienced challenging circumstances out of our control that drove us to new levels of grit, of bravery, thus making this motto uniquely our own. During our fourth class year, we experienced the longest government shutdown in our nation's history. In an admirable display of perseverance, my shipmates and I helped distribute food to the greater Coast Guard community from the food pantry in Leamy Hall. We did this atop our normal fourth class responsibilities. The class of 2022 alternated shifts in the pantry for weeks, supporting fellow service members until the situation was resolved. This event truly introduced us to military life and presented with the partial failure of our beautiful, imperfect system, we answered the call and forged on. In the spring of our third class year, we, along with the rest of the world, were abruptly sent back to our homes as we began to navigate COVID-19. We enthusiastically resumed our studies and training virtually from the floors of our childhood bedrooms because our parents needed the desks to work. From our cars, as we parked outside public libraries because the internet connection in our homes was too weak. And providing support for our scattered shipmates through Zoom, social media, and other innovative ways. We even successfully took our golf and tennis classes virtually. Although, judging from my performance this past Monday, the effectiveness of my virtual golf experience is questionable, but that's certainly a me problem. Regardless, we pioneered a new learning environment from the Academy, and we were headed to the fleet on schedule. During second class year, uncertain about the future, uninformed regarding mysterious virus, and deeply concerned about our families and loved ones, we ventured back to the Academy that summer to assume our role as cadre. And you all remember the logistical nightmare of moving hundreds of swabs throughout campus while avoiding cross-contamination. That was formidable. In our new role as leaders, we failed many times and faced the consequences of it. But as our swabs just took their cadre oath last week, we eventually identified best practices and overcame those unprecedented challenges. At every step along this journey, at one time or another, we, the brave men and women of the class of 2022, have been met with adversity, but proved to be remarkably resilient and accomplished the many things we set out to do when we reported in 4 years ago. On many occasions, our fortune even paved the way for unbelievable fun. Castle dance at the Rosecliff Mansion in Newport, all-important billet night, and commencement ball this past week are all fruitful rewards for never giving up on this risk-riddled journey. Undoubtedly, our collective grit throughout the 4-year practicum paid off. First Class Shellman and First Class Von Brock both earned first place in Lockheed Martin's ethics and engineering case competition. Of note, I am speaking today because my class ranking number was .993 of a point higher than First Class Von Brock's to earn the title Distinguished Graduate, which, for the record, is an absurdly small difference. Tight groupings of high performance like that pervade the entire class and speak to the drive of this group before you. The men's hockey team made the national tournament for only the second time in history. First Class California Hargrove, First Class Vivine Ishimwe, and First Class Taryn Johnson were honored with Black Engineer of the Year awards. And First Class Abigail Valadez won the National Latina Style Award. The affinity councils related to various personal identities under our leadership organized countless events and speakers, making the Academy a more inclusive and thereby a mission-ready environment. And in a league of his own, in the weeks leading up to this celebration, First Class Anton Konuchenko, my first roommate, managed to complete this rigorous practicum while anxiously monitoring the invasion of his home country, Ukraine. Continue to be brave, Anton. Fortune will favor you soon enough. So as we prepare to commission here today, understand that for us, the die is cast. We know not what opportunities we'll be presented with or risks we will take. But remember, on your cutter or in the cockpit, ashore and in cyberspace, or back in your home countries, fortune may not always, but eventually will, favor the brave. So go 2022, go Bears, go anywhere. But understand, wherever your destination is, no matter what, just keep going. Thank you. It is now my privilege to introduce the Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Carl L. Schultz.
Good morning, Madam Vice President, Speaker Secretary Mayorkas, Governor Lamont, our senior faculty members and staff, parents, brothers, sisters, members of the great class of 2022. I am thrilled to be here for your graduation and commissioning today into the United States Coast Guard. You know, 4 years ago, each of you arrived here in New London. You donned your first Coast Guard uniforms and made a commitment to our Coast Guard and to serve your nation. A few short weeks before your arrival, I had the privilege of assuming my duties as a 26th Commandant on 1 June. And we started these 4 years together. Yours was a 200-week transition from young men and women from America's streets and schools, maybe some from prep schools, into the United States Armed Forces. Here at the Academy, where the mission is simple, to graduate leaders of character and service-ready ensigns. Here we stand together, and I salute your resolve. As we all know, this class here before us, we heard Logan artfully talk about it, you have weathered the storm. You've staved the course, you have been tested, and you have prevailed. Your 4-year Academy experience was unlike any other. In normal times, cadets experience, it's taxing. Cadets balance a rigorous academic program. They participate in Division III or intramural sports and athletics, and they develop and hone their military bearing to serve in the armed forces. The pace of this place, of that 200-week program, is frenetic. The challenge, deliberate. And like the Academy classes before us, the class of 2022, you rose to meet the challenges, but your 200-week journey brought more. At the end of calendar year 2018, a 35-day partial federal lapse in appropriations left the Coast Guard members without pay. You heard what Logan said. Cadets stepped in and helped Coast Guardsmen in the region. That was unprecedented. But emblematic of our bias for action, devotion to duty, our Coast Guard personnel proudly stood to watch and fulfilled our promise to the American public. Members of the class of 2022 continued your development as officers to fulfill your promise. Your resolve was a powerful testimonial to our resilience as a military service, the strength of our committed workforce, and the character of this class. In the summer of 2020, our United States witnessed a national awakening of social injustice. As an organization, the Coast Guard looked inward. We evaluated our actions with a renewed determination to achieve a fully inclusive United States Coast Guard. Across the nation, our disaggregated force, united in service, worked to eliminate barriers to success for all. Through this shared experience, our Coast Guard and this class, the class of 2022, emerged stronger together in order to move forward together. And I want to thank the Academy staff, the faculty, the coaches, everyone here that makes this institution go, because these 4 years truly were challenging. You know, we are indeed a learning organization with a growth mindset. 232-year history come this August 4th, and we've continuously adapted to meet emerging national and global challenges, to leverage opportunities, to take our broad authorities and our unique capabilities and apply them in the security of our great nation. Our success navigating the global pandemic is because we adapted. It's because we exercised decisional agility like through the pandemic. And this class, like the Coast Guard writ large, you are adaptable, you are innovative, you are ready to meet our missions. To the parents and families, I echo the superintendent's words. Thank you. Thank you for your support of your graduates. That has been a key enabler to their success. And today, they join the ranks of our broader Coast Guard family, of which you too are a part. Last year, my wife and I were here in New London for the graduation of our son as part of the class of 2021. And he, along with these young men and women, they are the future leaders of our Coast Guard. You know, ironic as it is, in a small service but a globally deployed service, Ensign Schultz stands on that 210 out there today, probably with the import anchor watch behind us. It is a small Coast Guard, but it is a large, globally impactful Coast Guard. And my successor, Admiral Linda Fagan, who will be the first woman to serve as a service chief of an armed force. She's also the mother, the parent of a Coast Guardsman. Her daughter, Aileen, is a 2016 graduate. So we look with great appreciation for what you have done to push your men and women through this experience. You didn't expect to find them home in your living rooms and your computers, but they're back and they are graduating today, so thank you. Class of 2022, we started together and we are finishing together. I thank you for staying the course, for rising to every challenge presented before you. I am personally incredibly proud of your class. As you depart New London as ensigns here shortly, en route your first operational assignments. Take a little time to reflect before you head out that gate for last time in a little bit, before you come back for a reunion of sorts. Think about the significance of your achievement. I'm certain that one day soon, you'll have to employ the tenacity, the same resolve, the reliance on your teammates that you've had to do these past 4 years when you navigate out in the fleet, whether that's found aboard heavy seas on a cutter, whether that's flying your helicopter through stormy weather to rescue a mariner in distress, or that's just simply to inspire those that you'll have the privilege to soon lead. My charge to you is simple. Lead with integrity. Be an inclusive leader and a lifelong learner. Per your class motto, be a difference maker. Congratulations on this significant milestone and welcome to the fleet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to welcome our Service Secretary, a man of great integrity and character, the Honorable Alejandro Mayorkas.
Good afternoon. In all that we do, we have the opportunity to bring honor. We can bring honor to our colleagues, to the institutions of which we are a part, to our families and our communities, and to those who came before us and in whose memory we serve. Allow me to take a moment to recognize Carl Schultz, your Commandant, our Commandant. Thank you, Admiral Schultz, for your distinguished leadership, for the honor you bring to the Coast Guard and to our department, for the 39 years of service you have given to our nation. In a few weeks, just 2, we will reflect upon your nearly 4 decades as an officer. Today, we welcome the newest officers of the United States Coast Guard. Their service and the service of Coasties throughout the years to follow will be a tribute to your contributions and will build upon your extraordinary legacy. Graduates, in your last minutes as cadets, we celebrate your achievement earned through your love of country and 4 years of dedication. You challenge your strength on Cadet Memorial Field and in the Thames, stretch your intellect in Satterley and McAllister halls, and tested your mettle at sea in your summer assignments. Now, as commissioned officers, you will bring honor to the nearly 232 years of history that have made our Coast Guard the proud, noble military service that it is. That history was built by Coasties who sailed through breaking waves to keep America safe, and those who flew through hurricanes to execute our missions. We cannot leave out the pilots. You are all a part of the long blue line. Each of you has the opportunity, in fact, the responsibility to build a better Coast Guard for the classmates beside you, for the family behind you, and for the Coasties whom you will lead. You are new leaders. You will lead with honor, and honor will be the reward for what you give. I have been granted the greatest honor of my life to serve in the cabinet of President Biden and Vice President Harris to help execute their vision for America of all that we can be and for the world. Their leadership is defined by honor, and it is defined by their respect for the dignity of every individual. Honor and dignity, let these be the touchstones of our leadership too. We understand the sacrifices you and your loved ones make in the pursuit of military service. We also understand the pride that comes from that service. Semper Paratus, class of 2022, I salute you. I am now about to introduce someone very special. You might think that her walk from her chair to this lectern is about 10 feet. It is not. It is the walk of a lifetime of service, of devotion to community, protection of a city, guardian of a state, and service to country. It is my honor to welcome the Vice President of the United States of America, our Vice President, Kamala Harris.
Good morning, Bears. Good morning to all. Secretary Mayorkas, thank you for your steadfast leadership on so many of our nation's most pressing issues. I am grateful for your dedication to public service for our country and to the safety and well-being of our country. Admiral Schultz, Rear Admiral Kelly, congratulations to you both. I was honored to have some time to talk with you both before we came out, and we truly have a gift in your life of service. Thank you for that. Governor Lamont, faculty and staff, family and loved ones, it is an honor to be with you this morning. I am also proud to be joined today by my military aide, Lieutenant Commander Lauren Milisi, who graduated from this academy in 2009. She is, yes. She has traveled around the world with me, and this is her last trip. Lauren, I am so thankful for your service. And to the class of 2022, congratulations on this tremendous achievement. All you have been through, from that first 5 a.m. wake-up call during swab summer, to dipping your rings in the waters of the 7 seas at the ring dance, you have traveled on this remarkable journey together. I hope you look to your left and look to your right and know you have made lifelong friendships. You have dedicated yourselves to relationships that will last throughout your career. And you made it through together in such a demanding military training and a rigorous academic program in order to serve your country in the world's greatest Coast Guard. A Coast Guard, I should note, that has been strengthened, of course, under the leadership of Admiral Schultz. And a Coast Guard, as Admiral Schultz mentioned, that will soon be led by Admiral Fagan, the first woman in history to lead a United States military service. And to all the parents and loved ones who are here, I know you are feeling an immense sense of pride in these cadets today. And it is a pride that I share, especially when I talk about them, which I do, with other world leaders. President Joe Biden and I, well, we view our cadets as our eyes and ears and hands and hearts wherever you serve, at home or abroad. You are doing the critical work. You will be doing the critical work to protect our country, to advance our interests, and to shape the trajectory of world affairs. We applaud you all for all you have done as families, as loved ones, to develop the cadets that they are today. I have had the personal honor of working closely with the Coast Guard over the years, from my time as Attorney General of California to being Vice President of the United States. And I know who you all are. I know that you cadets possess the highest level of training, professionalism, and excellence. And cadets, I will then share with you my perspective on where I believe we are in the world today, the work of the Coast Guard, and your role in both. I will start with how I see the world. You all graduate into a world that's going to need your leadership, one that is full of possibility and the promise of progress. At the same time, the world you graduate into is unsettled. It is a world where long-established principles now stand on shaky ground, where the rule of law in places is strained, where rules and norms are under question. We see this in Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, where fundamental principles are under threat. Principles that are well grounded in the belief that sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations must be respected. The belief that all people have a right to peacefully choose their own leaders, and that borders must not be changed by force. For a time, it seemed as though these rules and norms would prevail. Now, they are being called into question. And the challenges we face are broader than Russia. Around the world, we see additional attempts to undermine the rules-based order. Nations that threaten the freedom of the seas, criminal gangs and traffickers who skirt the rule of law and fuel corruption and violence, those that manipulate and undermine the foundations of international commerce. When I think about protecting the security of the United States and the world, I am clear-eyed. One of our defining missions is to strengthen the international rules-based order, to defend it, to promote it, and to build on it. Over time, this order has been tried and this order has been tested. And far too often, I will share with you, I think we have taken it for granted. Frankly, sometimes we forget how rare it is in human history to have a period of relative peace and stability among nations. We must remember, upholding a system of laws, institutions, and common understandings. This is how we ensure the safety and security and prosperity of the United States. And this is how we preserve stability in the world. Cadets, this is where you come in. In addition to the work you will do at home, you will serve a vital role in advancing our nation's interests abroad. For example, just last week in Washington, D.C., I chaired a meeting with 9 leaders from Southeast Asia. I spoke with them about the United States Coast Guard, about you, with pride. I informed them that we are sending a new cutter to Southeast Asia to serve as a training platform, that we are sending additional Coast Guard personnel to help them build their law enforcement capacity, and that we are launching new initiatives to crack down on illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing in the region. These leaders have told me before, and they said again, ours is a vital partnership. And what I will tell you as the bells ring is the presence of the United States Coast Guard is a reminder to the world that we as the United States are committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific, and that it is a priority for our own national security. And of course, your influence abroad extends far beyond Southeast Asia. The Coast Guard has more than 60 bilateral and multilateral agreements around the world. When you partner with these foreign governments, you strengthen our global standing. And to be clear, if our nation is to be strong abroad, we must also be strong at home. And every single American, in addition to you cadets, has a role to play in bettering our nation. Today is a joyous occasion, but it is impossible to ignore that we gather mere days after a horrific attack of hate in Buffalo, New York. Another despicable act in the epidemic, I fear, that may be happening, of hate that we must condemn. I spoke earlier about international rules and norms, but there are also rules and norms that what we must as Americans hold on to, as each other, as Americans. Rules and norms founded in the belief that a harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us, that hate and violence have no place here in America, and that we are all in this together as one nation, undivided. I look out at you cadets, and I see the very best of America. I see a group of individuals, each with your own life experience, a group who came together to become a strong, cohesive unit in service of the greater good, a group bound by shared values and the belief that out of many, one. Enter as many, leave as one. As a nation, we're going to count on you to hold us to that ideal. Now, as officers in our Coast Guard, you will work together as a unit, of course, to better our nation, and your work every day is going to help ensure the safety, security, and prosperity of the American people. When you serve on a cutter in the Western Pacific, you will protect the sea and the sea lanes where billions of dollars of trade flow, and you will support the jobs and livelihood of millions of Americans. When you serve at a port like Savannah or Long Beach, you will ensure that families have access to the goods they need, when they need them, at a price they can afford. This is the connection between the work you do and all that happens around the world, right into what happens in the households of American families. When you patrol the American shores, looking for drug traffickers, you will help prevent harmful products from reaching our communities. When you work on critical and emerging areas like cybersecurity and the climate crisis, you will help push our country forward into new frontiers. In everything you do, you will embody America's values, and you will enhance our strength as a nation, which is why your role in both the world and the Coast Guard is so important. Class of 2022, your lived experience makes you uniquely suited for the task at hand. I don't have to tell you, you are a generation that grew up online. In fact, your class, of course, includes the first graduates in the history of this institution that will have a degree in cyber systems. That's very impressive. You came of age in a post-9/11 era defined by threats like the climate crisis and a global health pandemic. You are familiar with a world that, frankly, feels strange and new to so many of us. And I believe you have the ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been, to learn from the past, but not be limited by it, to identify new opportunities for our Coast Guard to lead both in today's unsettled world and far into the bright, beautiful future. We need your perspective, and we need your expertise. In just a few short minutes, you will take an oath and become officers in the United States Coast Guard. And as you do, I ask you, Remember how you feel right now, your excitement about this journey, your excitement about the world, about your service, about your future. Remember how you feel in this moment, because that will help guide you in each of your assignments ahead. President Biden and I have great faith in your ability. We know you are ready to serve. And your country is so proud of you. Congratulations again. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.